Hi there, I'm Tosin. Today I'm gonna talk about Norse mythology. Norse mythology is very interesting. After watching this video, you might have the same feeling with me, so keep watching. I will do my best to explain the whole thing simply so everybody can understand. The birthplace of Norse mythology is Scandinavia, which is now Norway and Sweden. Historically, the Kingdom of Scandinavia including almost all Nordic countries such as Denmark, Iceland, and Finland. The people who live in this Scandinavian kingdom were called Scandinavians, which we often call Vikings. More than 1,000 years ago, the technology of navigation and shipbuilding developed fast, so the Vikings began to do business in many countries. At that time, the gods that the Vikings believed in were the gods of war. The most powerful god in Norse mythology is Odin. Odin is the god of war in Norse mythology. He has a particularly powerful weapon in his hand, a long spear called the Spear of Eternity. Odin only has one eye, so many ancient Vikings like to wear an eye patch to imitate Odin, the god of war. They want Odin's power and protection. Odin also has two ravens with him. Although Odin is a god, he does not have clairvoyance or the ability to know everything. He does not know what is happening in the outside world. Odin relies on his ravens to gather information every day. His ravens tell him the news every day. Odin's wife is also the highest ranking goddess in Norse mythology, named Frigg. She's the mother of Thor, the god of thunder. There are several important gods in Norse mythology: Odin, Thor, and Loki. Thor's weapon is a hammer. Thor is also the god of war in Norse mythology. In Norse mythology, the world is a tree. This tree is called the tree of the universe. The tree is divided into nine different worlds. The most central world is called Midgard, which is the world where humans live. One level higher than the human world is Alfheim, the world of the light elves. The people in this world are all light elves. Further up from the light elves is the highest realm of the entire universe, where Odin and his gods live, called Asgard, and the gods who live here are called the Aesir. The lower level of the human world is called the Dark Elf world. Dark elves are dwarfs. They live underground, and further down the Dark Elves world is the underworld. Parallel to the human world, there are four worlds, namely the kingdom of ice and snow in the north, the kingdom of fire in the south, the kingdom of giants in the east, and the kingdom of the Vanaheim in the west. So where did this world tree come from? A long time ago, when the universe was first born, there was nothing in the entire universe. Then one day, for unknown reasons, two elements appeared in the universe. One was the element of ice, and the other was the element of fire. These two elements are incompatible with each other, so they each occupy half of the entire universe. One day, a large gap appeared between these two elements. The elements of fire and ice were constantly colliding and intertwining in this gap. In the process of interweaving ice and fire, the universe formed 12 rivers. This element of ice and fire later formed the kingdom of ice and snow and the kingdom of fire. One day, the water in the river entered the gap and merged with the ice and fire element to form the first life in the universe, a giant. This giant was called Ymir. After Ymir was born, many giants spawned. Then another creature was born. This creature is the earliest protist called Beowulf, and it looks like a human. The original giant Ymir found Beowulf and killed him, but Beowulf gave birth to a child before dying. The child born was named Bor. When Bor grew up, he married a giantess and gave birth to Odin. When Odin grew up, he became a capable and strategic guy. He just wanted to let his gods defeat the giant and occupy the world. So he and his son Thor killed the first giant, Ymir, and then wipe out the giant. Odin directly pushed the giant to the edge of the entire universe. The gods became the rulers of the universe. After Ymir, the original giant, died, his bones, hair, and body transformed into all things in the universe, which means that his body became the tree of the universe. Because Odin killed the giant and created the universe, Odin is the creator god. Later, Odin created humans. After he created humans, he placed humans at the center of the entire universe. Odin erected a high wall at the outermost area of human habitation to resist the giants and prevent them from entering. Odin has been marginalizing the giants from beginning to end. He's trying his best to drive them away. The reason is that Odin heard a prophecy. A prophet in the divine world told him that the giants would eventually destroy the gods, so he should try his best to clean up the giant. Then one day, a goddess from the Vanaheim, a magician, came to the territory of the Asgard. After she went there, she disturbed the heaven and made cruel remarks to provoke everyone. She believed that the Aesir should not rule the entire universe. Odin was very angry when he heard this and ordered her to be killed. But in the end, no one could kill her, no matter how hard they kill her. So she became even more arrogant. This goddess triggered a war between the two protests, the Aesir and the Vanir. This war lasted for a long time, but the two sides fought for a long time without a winner. Later, the two sides discussed whether the matter could be resolved peacefully. They finally decided to exchange hostages between the two sides. The Vanir sent a prince and a princess to the Asgard as hostages. The Garim sent one of Odin's brothers and a giant wise man to the Vanir protests as hostages. There's another particularly important character in Norse mythology, the dwarves who live underground. This claim is good at metallurgy and making weapons. The weapons used by the gods were all made by them. Like Odin's eternal spear and Thor's hammer, they were all made by them. It was Loki who asked them to create it. Loki is the core god in the entire Nordic mythology. He's a particularly bad god. Loki is a giant. His parents are both giants, but they live in the world of gods. The dwarves not only make weapons but also make exquisite jewelry. The princess who was exchanged to the god realm saw the dwarves making a gold necklace one day. The gold necklace itself was magical, and she wanted it when she saw it. But the dwarf said, "No, I can't give it to you. This gold, this gold necklace was made by four dwarfs." She said, "No worries, I will give you the money, a lot of money." The dwarf said, "But I don't need money." The princess asked, "What do you want then?" The dwarf said, "Let's do this. You sleep with the four of us one night each." The princess wants this necklace so much, so she stayed with the four of them for one night each. Finally, she got the necklace. After the princess got this necklace and wore it, she became the most attractive woman in the world, and everyone who saw her fell in love with her. Later, Loki saw the necklace and liked it very much. He stole the necklace. But after it was stolen, the princess asked someone to take the necklace back. This man is the guardian of the entire divine realm called Heimdall. There's a rainbow bridge between the divine world and the human world. Giants and Vanir can also go to the god realm from this rainbow bridge. Heimdall is guarding this rainbow bridge. He has clairvoyance. He observes his surroundings every day to see if anything suspicious is happening. If something was wrong, he would close the bridge. Because Heimdall helped the princess get back the gold necklace, he and Loki had a conflict from then on. In the final battle between the gods, the two of them fought to the death. Because of the existence of this prophecy, Odin has been very worried that the giants will counterattack. But Odin still has some confidence because he has a particularly powerful son. This son of his is not Thor. In addition to Thor, Odin had two sons, Balder, the god of light, and Horder, the god of darkness. The god of light is extremely handsome, extremely powerful, and invincible. No one can defeat him. And the god of darkness is blind. But later, the prophet told Odin that the prophecy not only included that the gods would eventually be destroyed by the giants, but also that Balder would die. Odin found this incredible how Balder could die. Then he told his wife about it. When his wife heard that my son was going to die, she said, "Oh no, I have to think of a way." Later, she thought of a trick, making everything in the world swear an oath. No one is allowed to hurt my son. Everything in the world swore not to hurt her son. But the mother of the god of light left something behind, which was a sapling outside the temple, and she did not let the sapling swear. The sapling was particularly weak. She felt that the sapling would not harm anyone, so nothing in the universe could harm the god of light. Loki hates the god of light because he's handsome and has a good family background, but the god of light is invincible. No one can defeat him. So Loki went around asking about the god of light's weaknesses. Finally, Loki discovered that the sapling might be the god of light's weakness. Later, Loki found the tree. By this time, the tree had grown very big. Loki broke off a small branch. He found the god of darkness. He told Loki that your brother is invincible and no one can kill him, but you can try throwing this branch at him. The god of darkness threw the branch at the god of light, and the god of light died on the spot. The mother of the god of light was extremely sad and pursued her to the underworld, hoping that the owner of the underworld would resurrect her son. The ruler of the underworld is Loki's daughter, named Hela. Hela is also a giant, and giants are extremely powerful. But the giants were sealed away to various places by Odin. The lord of the underworld is Loki's daughter, so she is also evil. Giants are born from poisonous river water, so all giants are bad. The mother of the god of light went to the lord of the underworld and asked, "Can you resurrect my son?" Hela, the lord of the underworld, said, "You can resurrect him if you want. If everything in the world weeps for your son, I will resurrect him." Then everything in the world began to cry, but there was only a female giant under the ground who did not cry. She said, "I don't need sunshine. I don't need light. If I don't cry, the god of light will not be resurrected." This giantess was transformed by Loki. Later, Odin became a little desperate when he learned that his son, the god of light, could not be resurrected. Odin immediately found the prophet. He asked the prophet what would happen after the god of light died. The prophet said that you will give birth to a son named Banli with the giantess Neda. He will avenge the god of light. Odin immediately found the giantess Neda and gave birth to Banli by force. As soon as Banli was born, he killed the god of darkness with one sword strike. In this way, both of Odin's sons are dead, and of course Banli is also Odin's son. Loki is the culprit, but killing Loki cannot relieve Odin's hatred. So Odin tied up Loki and made him suffer until Ragnarok. Ragnarok is the end of the entire Norse mythology. This is a big event. The prophet had said before that all gods would be destroyed. In other words, Odin will torture Loki until the end of the world. How to torture? Odin caught a large snake that could spit out corrosive venom. Odin tied Loki there and let the snake's venom drip onto his face every day. The venom ate away at Loki's face every day. He felt a lot of pain, but then he was able to recover. Then the venom would drip back up, continuing to corrode his face. Loki spent every day in pain, and Loki's wife felt particularly sorry for him. Her wife used a cup to help Loki catch the venom from the snake every day to prevent the venom from dripping onto Loki's face. Because of Loki's existence, both of Odin's sons died. So Odin particularly hated Giant. The giant also knew that Odin tied up Loki and tortured him in various ways. So he launched the Doomsday War of Ragnarok. In the Doomsday War, because of Loki's daughter is from the underworld, the giant and the undead cooperated to fight against the gods. After the two sides started fighting, humans watched their confrontation. So, how is this Doomsday battle fought? Loki also has two particularly powerful children. One is a giant python, and the other is a giant wolf. These two monsters have been sealed by Odin because they are so powerful that no one can control them once they are released. After the Doomsday War began, these two monsters were awakened, and the giant wolf went up and ate Odin in one bite. Odin also had a son named Vader. After seeing his father being eaten, he went up and tore the giant wolf apart, then took out Odin's spear and stabbed the giant wolf to death. Thor wanted to kill the giant snake. Logically speaking, Thor's super hammer should be perfect, but at this time, Thor couldn't hit the giant snake no matter what. The giant snake kept spraying venom at Thor. Thor was in pain from the venom. Finally, Thor killed the giant snake with a hammer, but because he was careful about the poison finally broke out and he and the giant snake died together. Loki and Heimdall are attacking each other, but Heimdall's swordsmanship is particularly powerful. He cut off Loki's head with a single stroke of his sword. But after Loki's head fell to the ground, it rebounded and killed Heimdall. This is how it is between them. Bit by bit, they all destroy each other. At the end, a particularly important giant emerged. He is the king of the kingdom of fire, called the Fire Giant. The Fire Giant is fighting Frey. Frey was originally very good at fighting, but they all rely heavily on weapons. But now Frey's weapon is gone. Where were his weapons? It turns out that before the Wars of Gods happened, he fell in love with a giantess. He wanted to marry the giantess. He said to the giantess, I can't give you everything I have. So he gave his favorite weapon to the giantess. As a result, he was left without a weapon in the Battle of the Gods. He was directly beaten to death by the opponent. Finally, the fire giant threw his flaming sword into the air, creating a huge flame and burning the whole world to ashes. Okay, if you like my story, please subscribe to my channel. I will share more stories in the future.